Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and welcome to the weekly holiday show. I'm your host, Mr. James. Kale. Have you tried kale yet? It's like a green vegetable. Anyways, yeah, I have a lot of these shirts for some reason. Welcome to the weekly holiday show. Yeah, we're starting on Mondays. Remember, Monday through Sunday, that's our week. And in the fall, we're going to go back to our 5-day week because we're basically tuned towards the school week. As being a teacher myself, that's the work week. And weekends for me is just playing music, gigs and functions and performances and things like that. Anyways, we have a selection of holidays this week, the week starting August 1st through August 7th. That's right, we're in August. I guess it's going to be starting to get hot around here in Maine. They said possibly around 100 degrees this week. I know some people in other parts of this country in North America, United States, are already experiencing 100+ degree weather. And please stay cool. Try to find ways to stay really cool. I've got some kind of tips on that too. Anyways, I'll share some of those later. Anyways, so starting off Monday, we have Recognize Parents Day. Recognize parents. Now that doesn't mean birth parents. That can mean guardians. It's just recognizing those that take an active role to help nurture us in our lives, right? The parenting, they call it parenting. I like to think of parenting as not just someone who helped create a child, but someone who helps to nurture a child. And parenting can be from all different walks of life, all different people. I mean, even like a brother or sister can help parent a sibling. I mean, it's just things like that. This is just a day to recognize those people. I mean, you think about it, a lot of holidays we have are just to recognize people in roles that we don't normally recognize on a daily basis. And there's enough holidays to go around the year where you can just, hey, I'm going to spend a day recognizing a nurse. I'm going to spend a day recognizing someone who does this for me and does that. It's probably a good idea. Now think about this, not just to email people and do all the electronic thing, but actually invest in buying some nice cards that that you feel represent yourself and the way you want to say something nice to somebody, you know, certain kind of your signature cards, and just design something and just have a lot of those in stock and put in your calendar somewhere, certain days that you want to recognize certain people, and yeah, get addresses correct and send them off, maybe even postcards. That's one of the big things where you can recognize people, and people will be very grateful that you did recognize that. It will just enrich your life to always be paying compliments and things forward to everybody. And you never know later on where that's going to help you, you know, succeed in somewhere. So think about it. Anyways, Tuesday, it's Coloring Book Day. Coloring book. And now this is not just for coloring for, like they say, kids, children, like people like to do all the time, but also adults. It's one of these things where people like coloring. It's becoming a big stress reliever. And they do have these adult coloring books that have a lot more tinier places to color and maybe more intricate designs. But coloring, whether you do something that has maybe 3 or 4 colors, like I've used in my classroom before, or something that has so many different colors and so many different, like, intricate, complicated things, it doesn't matter. It's something that you can do where you have a structure, you are adding in color, you're being creative, and it's a little process, and you can relax because it's something that you don't really have to do a lot of thinking about, right? Color inside the lines, not a lot of thinking. It's not like you're creatively drawing on a blank page. You've got a little template and you're filling it in with colors. And coloring books go back many, many years. I think it was maybe it was the 1870s or 1970s. I don't know. They came up with I think it was the 1970s. They came up with the adult coloring book. A company came up with just, hey, here's something adults can do. And I was like, what? We had this just for children. And hey, it caught on, and past few years, it's just gone more complicated. So you see scenes from movies, and you can color them in and stuff like that. I think that's kind of interesting. So find a movie that you like, you'll find a coloring book for it. Wednesday, Mixed Nuts Day. So actually, I think originally Holly was called Grab a Bag of Nuts. day. But basically, it's just talking about nuts, things we call nuts, right? We call, peanuts, almonds, walnuts, filberts, Brazil nut, all these things. Think about it this way, okay? Not everything we call a nut is a nut. Some of these are like peanut is a legume. We get seeds, certain things where they grow, not considered a nut too, certain ways that these grow, and it doesn't really matter, right? Good fats, good fiber, good protein. That's what you want to know about nuts. And they always ask me anytime I do some sort of health questionnaire, like a survey, they ask me, do you eat nuts every single day? And I have at least 2 handfuls of nuts, whether I have it in butters and stuff like that, peanut butter or something like that. And yeah, I do. And it's one of those things that I go, good, because that's good for your heart. Healthy fats, fiber, protein. Yeah, so look that up. If you don't know what those mean, those are macronutrients, something you need every single day. And mixed nuts are great for you. I do have a picture here of me as a cocoa nut, but not everything with the word nut in it is a nut. Peanut is a legume, and things like that. Almond is actually not considered a nut either. But anyways, enjoy your nuts. They're good for you. Thursday, it's chocolate chip cookie day. Maybe not good for you, right? But I do make chocolate chip cookies out of almond flour, nuts, right? Yeah, and they're actually amazing. And I use non-dairy chocolate chips. Cocoa is really good for you. Chocolate, dark chocolate, stuff without the milk or without all the extra added ingredients and stuff like that, or really high sugar content is good for you. More cocoa, better for you. And chocolate chip cookies, great. I'm pretending I'm actually in this Bitmoji that I'm in a glass of oat milk, not cow's milk, just to clear that up. But yeah, chocolate chip cookies, probably the most famous flavor of cookie in the entire world. And we all know where that came from. I mentioned a few weeks ago, Toll House cookies, the Toll House Inn. I think it's in Massachusetts or maybe New York, where someone decided to put some chocolate shavings. They took a chocolate bar and they just cut it up and they threw it in their cookie mix. And I was like, whoa, this is amazing. So much that one of the companies that makes chocolate chips decides to put out cookie dough, and they call them Toll House cookies. And this is where the chocolate chip cookie kind of came from. Not that it probably didn't already exist in Europe and other places, people just adding chocolate to things, but yeah, we know it as the chocolate chip cookie here in America. And if you like those cookies, great. Add chocolate chips to a lot of things. Good quality chocolate. It kind of puts a little bit of extra pizzazz to it, right? Friday, and this is weird, it's underwear day. And I don't want you to think about underwear as like, ooh, something we don't want to talk about. Think about it as clothing, right? Clothing, something goes underneath the clothing that you wear. And it's basically so that your clothing doesn't get all sweaty. So like I have a t-shirt on right now. If I really thought this t-shirt, I really like, it's a hot day, I don't want to be really sweaty, I would wear an undershirt. I could call it underwear because I'm wearing it under my clothing, right? It's not just what you wear, down there. It can also be like a shirt you wear under a shirt, basically, or a slip. Some women wear something called a slip underneath dresses. So the dress doesn't scratch them. Also, they don't sweat and all these different things. But yeah, it's one of these days where you just recognize the clothing that you wear under clothing. And that's one of the things. Think about this. And this is something I learned about a few years ago. In some countries, people might not dress like they either have a lot of money or have a lot of different flashy, expensive styles. But underneath the clothing they're wearing, they may spend a lot of money on undergarments. And undergarment, I think, is a better way than underwear because they want it to be really good quality. They want what's touching their skin mostly to be this really nice quality, but above it, over it, doesn't really matter. And I heard about this for some people who lived in France, and I thought that was really interesting. And you got to think about this. What you're wearing for undergarments, are they soft, comfortable, wick away moisture, all these things that you might be looking for. Spend a little bit more money on that. Kind of like the thing with beds. People don't want to spend a lot of money on beds or sheets and things like that. You're sleeping a third of your life is spent sleeping pretty much. So you might as well spend a lot of, spend more on something you're going to use a lot more that you really depend on. Things you use less, you don't need to spend so much. I mean, I guess unless it's certain things, people spend a lot of money on phones and everything like that, because you probably require certain things. But yeah, undergarments day, celebrate it. Saturday, disc golf day, frisbee. That's basically what I call it. Frisbee and golf mixed together. You take frisbees that are a little bit heavier and you throw them into little bins. And yeah, that's basically what it is. I haven't actually played disc golf. I love playing frisbee. I thought I was pretty good at tossing the frisbee wherever somebody was. I could definitely find the target, but I haven't played disc golf yet. I heard the frisbees they use are really expensive, and yeah, it's probably also in the woods, and it's hot, the bugs, I don't know. It's just something I haven't tried yet. I wouldn't mind trying it. I have to definitely go with somebody who knows what they're doing, because otherwise I'm just throwing a frisbee and hitting trees. Yeah. So, and I don't know about all the skills and the scoring for that, but if you do, and you have, or you haven't, Saturday is the day to try it out. Try out disc golf for the first time. I mean, hey, there's so many holidays each day. I'm picking through these. I think it's one we could all think about, right? It's a fun sport, and frisbee's fun anyways. And last Sunday, Sisters Day. We had Brothers Day, sisters. Who is a sister to you? Like I think of every female as a sister. You have a sister, because think of us as all one big happy family, right? But you might have a sister, a biological sister, and this is the day that you can acknowledge them and thank them for everything they've done for you, and just acknowledge them, even if you can't think of anything they've done for you recently, right? Take what you got for your recognition day, your little postcards or whatever, and just write a note to somebody, right? Physically write a note, not an email. Just write something down, because it's something people can hold on to, they can look at. It's there. An email can go away after you read it. This physical thing, it's there. They see it. They have to file it away somewhere, organize it, and they're going to be reminded of it later on, because it's going to be within their vicinity or in their house where they live. So think about that. Yeah. So, well, thank you for celebrating this week. I know the holidays are always a little interesting. It's always a little mix of everything, right? But overall, the message is take care of people, take care of yourself, and recognize things in your life that you don't normally recognize every single day, right? Underwear. Interesting, right? And as always, keep celebrating.